And one thing that's really important to understand, people don't leave jobs. They don't leave roles. They leave environments. And environments are shaped by leaders. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found your way. I'm Farosha, and this channel is here to help leaders like you navigate real work challenges, especially human challenges. So today we're diving into something I believe every future-ready leader has to understand. And that is that emotional intelligence isn't just a soft skill. It is actually the most important leadership skill of the future, which means we want to start building skills like that today. So let's talk about why that is, what that means for your growth, for your impact, and for your team. So as we're delving into emotional intelligence, let's start with a simple definition. So emotional intelligence, by the way, that is sometimes abbreviated as EQ or EI. I'll probably use all three of these terms. It's your ability to be aware of your own emotions, to manage them effectively, to understand emotions of others, and then to respect them in a way that you can build trust and connection. And emotional intelligence, it's not about being overly emotional or being overly tuned into emotions. It's about being aware of emotion with purpose. Now, what that includes is understanding the components or the parts of emotional intelligence. And those are self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation skills, and social skills. So it's like a skill set where all of these components come together. And as you can understand from just hearing those, in leadership, those aren't optional or nice to have. They're essential. And here's why. We are living and working in a very fast changing world. It's fast-paced and things are changing daily. We know about the acceleration that AI is making and the impact that it's having on the workforce worldwide. We are seeing post-COVID that remote teams are very normal now. And we also see that uncertainty and complexity, they're just part of everyday life. And that bleeds into work life. And another thing is that technical skills alone, they just won't cut it anymore. And actually, that's not new. That's been like that ever since the concept of emotional intelligence was introduced. However, now it's even more relevant. In 2024, the World Economic Forum had a report out, and it named emotional intelligence as the top 10 most critical skills for the future of work. Interestingly enough, that was across industries. So that means this isn't just something that's interesting for people managers or maybe people who are geared towards HR. It's for everyone that's navigating complex human systems. And that's basically every workplace. In 2023, Forbes Insights did a study, and it found that companies led by emotionally intelligent leaders had a 4 times higher employee engagement rate, and they saw higher retention and innovation rates in those companies. So the conclusion is EQ isn't just a luxury. It is necessary, and I would like to call it your leadership edge. And of course, I'm sure you're curious in finding out why that is. So the second part of this has to do with how people respond to leadership in today's world. I'm sure in your industry it's the same. There's been a lot of shifting and people are leaving jobs. It's very hard in certain sectors to find sufficient good quality people. This is a complaint I hear of leaders across industries. And one thing that's really important to understand as we delve further into EI and what its role is in today's modern workplace is people don't leave jobs. They don't leave roles. They leave environments. And environments are shaped by leaders. So this is a really important point for you as a leader or as someone who is maybe climbing the ranks and has the ambition to have a leadership role. Really, really important to understand. And think about this for yourself. Would you rather work with a leader who knows how to stay calm under pressure, who actually listens to you, who will provide you feedback in a way that actually motivates you? Or would you rather be with someone who's technically brilliant, you could probably learn a lot from them, but emotionally they're unavailable? right? So this makes perfect sense. Now, I know some of you will be critical and go, well, people shouldn't come to work to be cuddled, or the workplace isn't a place where it could only be about emotions. And I get what you're saying. However, please remember this. People do not leave their humanity and therefore their emotions at the door when they enter work in the morning. Some of them don't actually enter work in the morning anymore. They just turn on their computers. So important key understanding is humanity isn't something we switch on or switch off. As a matter of fact, we live in an era where we more than ever want people to bring their humanity, their full selves to work. And how well you are able to guide and navigate with people in that environment is going to determine the success that you have as a leader. So this is about embracing what's there, making good use of the very good people that you may have around you, and not being afraid that emotion is something that's going to be in your way. Your ability to lead people through uncertainty, to give them feedback, to lead them through conflict, to get them to grow, it all hinges on emotional intelligence. Now, this is even more true as teams get more diverse, more digital, and more purpose-driven. So in today's world, again, emotional intelligence is a must. Now, let's get it into even more practical areas. How do you know if you're strong in EQ and if you need to work on it? So there's a few indicators, and we'll build on this later on. I'll probably do other videos deep diving on that. So here's a few indicators for now. You are able to recognize when your emotions are rising, and you're able to pause before reacting. That's a very clear sign. You are a person that regularly asks for feedback, and you don't just do it to hear praise. You really are looking for feedback so that you can improve. You notice when other people are withdrawing or stressed, even when they don't say it. You're keen to picking up on signals like that. You will adjust your communication depending on who you're talking to, meaning you have a certain level of flexibility and you're able to shift and to accommodate to the needs that you find in conversation, or pick up on the signals that your conversation partners are sending out. You apologize and you repair relationships when it's needed, and you don't let your ego get in the way. What if you're listening to this and you kind of go, well, that's not really familiar territory for me? That isn't a problem. Like I said, part of emotional intelligence is growing your awareness. And so if you can already acknowledge that these might be things that are not very close to you or that are unfamiliar territory for you, okay. What that means is it's time to grow. All right, so where to start? It doesn't mean that you have to change your entire personality if you want to grow in your emotional intelligence. You can start small. Try these 3 tips. At your next team meeting, ask one open-ended question and then listen fully before you reply. Number 2, practice naming how you feel throughout the day, even if it's just to yourself. So whenever you feel an emotion, label it. Number 3, when tension rises, ask yourself, what do I need right now to respond to the situation well? These small moments are where emotional intelligence is built. It's not in the big things. It's about respecting the small steps and taking them day by day, moment by moment. So, as we finish, let me ask you one question. What's one situation where you've seen emotional intelligence, or lack of it, make a difference in leadership? I'd love to hear your stories. Drop your notes in the comments, please. Let's learn from each other. And if this video made you reflect, gave you a new angle perhaps, consider subscribing. This is just one of the many videos that I create to help you become a more grounded, connected, and impactful leader. Don't forget to press the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date. Thanks for watching. Until next time. And remember, lead with your heart and keep growing.